You should not be walking away from the Diddy documentary with the point for you being that Diddy is a gay, self-hating, closeted man, or that his enablers are more to blame than Diddy himself. You should be walking away with this immense fear that there are more Diddys than we would like to think. There are people who are more horrible than Diddy with a fraction of his wealth. You should be walking away with the point that power made people turn the other way to Diddy's behavior. Diddy didn't have to be a physical threat. It was the power he held in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, and as a billionaire that kept people silent. If you were an emerging artist, he had the power, or at least you thought he had the power to project your career into another stratosphere, or he had the power to eviscerate it. And then his power as a billionaire made it so that he had the power to eviscerate your life if you crossed him. See, it's so easy to blame people in his life, like Capricorn or Kirk. But the fact is that these enablers, particularly in the Diddy story, are in a cycle of abuse with him too. People either don't know or forget that abuse doesn't just start and end at an assault, or vile words being thrown, or the alienation and isolation of a victim. It starts with a simple hello. It starts with a person, an abuser, being charismatic, having the ability to pull you in. It starts with an abuser recognizing that they can have power over another. Obviously, Diddy didn't just start behaving this way because he was a billionaire or because he ran Bad Boy Records. How far back it started, we don't know. But in a documentary, it started when he was still in Uptown, allegedly abusing young women. When you see someone inflict their abuse onto someone else, and that abuse being so heinous and vile, your first instinct isn't to combat that abuser or call him out. It's to shut up and make it out of this situation, not becoming a victim yourself. And especially when Diddy had such an immense amount of power in the entertainment and music industry, you see people like Capricorn, people that he surrounds himself now, shut up and look the other way. Because the type of power he held with his wealth, he didn't just control the industry he worked in. He had the ability to control law enforcement. He had the money to make sure any problem that he had was waved away. He had the power to hire lawyers whose retainers start in the 5 to 6 digit range. So when you talk about the enablers, you have to remember that he's getting away, seeing with their own eyes, getting away with abusing his wife, his girlfriend, but he's also getting away with allegedly shooting people. Anyone who tried to make him face consequences for his actions, he was able to have flicked away like an annoying pest. So it may seem in an enabler's eyes that it's kind of hopeless to tell your story, to warn people, tell your story to the masses, to get some type of justice in this world. And then, if that's not enough to keep an enabler's mouth shut, it's the fact that when a victim like Cassie comes forward and tries to get some semblance of justice, they are raked over the They are met with insults that are calling them gold diggers, call them clout chasers, because instead of people looking at the abuser crazy and thinking these allegations are crazy and maybe we should put you on pause for a minute, we turn and look at the victim and we go and we question their whole life story. People find any excuse to discredit them, whether it be their history, whether it be they stole a pencil in the 5th grade, anything to demonize the victim over the abuser. It has never been positive for a person to come out and say that they were abused, to say that they were assaulted. These enablers that people want to blame, they see the victim being treated like this. They see them dragged for filth, not only on the internet, but also in the news cycle. They see a prime example of when you speak out against this abuser, nothing really happens to him, but you are scrutinized. Anything to make your story a little less credible is used by people on social media, used by legal teams, used by journalists. And then not only do people not believe them, that when they're put in a documentary and they finally tell their story, the producer of said documentary will still go on to his Instagram account and congratulate you on your Grammy nomination. And in that same post, mention the heinous assault you experienced. So no, the point of the Diddy documentary wasn't that Diddy was a gay, homophobic, closeted man. It was people, victims, came out plenty of times, but you, the audience, the people, didn't care. You scrutinized the victim, the whistleblower, before you scrutinized the abuser. You ran defense for a billionaire. You ran defense for an artist who made mediocre music. You protected the abuser time and time and time again. And not only the people who were in Diddy's life that excused his behavior, that looked the other way, were the enablers. You, the audience, enabled him too. And the fact that there are Diddys in every industry, people who are worse than Diddy, especially in the music industry, won't get called out. Their victim stories will remain untold, because not only with each and every time a victim comes out, they're treated as the accused, their reputations in the industry that they work in, their reputations around the world are ruined just for their abuser not to face a single consequence for the abuse they inflicted, because they are 10 steps behind their abuser in the court of public opinion and in the justice system. Because how even a video of the abuse occurring didn't make people budge an inch. So victims having to relive their trauma all over again. They have to hear from random strangers on the internet, from a jury of their peers, that they don't believe them. And I think that hurts a little bit more than the abuse. You guys say you want predators to be exposed and they should meet the worst of ends. You guys tell him that he's not guilty, that you show the world that even a predator can be elected as president, even though everyone knows about the abuse he inflicted. I'm Desi Fines, and I know people won't believe victims, but I would like to say that I do. And if you think that there's no one who will believe you, who will stand with you, I'm here. I'm Desi Fines. This is one of my channels. I do commentary, recaps, and music reviews on this channel. You do not have to agree with everything I said in this video, but it has to be stated that instead of the abuse that Diddy inflicted on numerous amount of people being a vocal point of discussions online, it's not. And if male is something that is funny to you, you can kick rocks with open-toe shoes and get the fuck off my video. Just like it before you go. I don't give a fuck. So I'm Desi Fines and this is my channel. I always like to leave you off with some words. I hope that in your day, no, fuck it, I'm heated up, so no, I'm not doing my usual ending.